Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Greetings. The drums of war thunder once again. Welcome to the Burning Wheel. So, how's everyone been doing this week?
It's been
Not
a
too
busy
bad.
week.
Decent.
Sweet.
Yourself?
I've been doing pretty good. I went to a friend's house last night. Is it? Yeah. Last night I went to a friend's house. And we had dinner. We had played games. We talked about what we're going to be for Halloween. We considered dressing up as all different pieces of the most important meal of the day, breakfast. So each of us would be eggs, milk, orange juice, pancakes, toast. The whole
There was a
variety.
fist fight over who was going to be bacon, though, right?
No, I think that was pretty generally accepted, unfortunately.
A
We'd
bacon
also, but the
princess.
news that we could have two bacons because you needed like 2 or 3 strips of bacon, so each person
Right.
could be a single strip of bacon.
So you're all going to be bacon.
Yes,
Except
and
for
then I'm
one
going
guy
to
who
go
wants
watch.
to be eggs.
Yeah, next Friday, like this coming Friday, the day before Halloween, I'm going to go watch. We were talking about this movie last night, and then so we're all just going to get kind of watch it. 'Cause I think only one of us have actually seen it. It's called "What We Do in the Shadows." I don't know if any of you guys have seen it.
No, I don't
So
know.
it's a bunch of the camera follows a house with a bunch of roommates living together, and they're complaining to the camera about all of the issues with each other, and they're just dealing with regular roommate drama. And they're all vampires and werewolves.
So,
So
Monster of
yeah.
the Week beats Big Brother kind of thing.
basically, it's going to be fun. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I had an idea like that with some friends back in high school. It was kind of like a vampire rom-com type reality show thing like that.
Mm-hmm. So that's what it's like. So that's been the biggest parts of my life at this time, my week.
Nice. I played Microscope for the first time with
Oh
some
yeah,
of
how
the
was that?
Mathsquad people. It was really fun. It was not what I expected, though. It was kind of interesting because we did like this sort of like horror-esque vibe. We were trying to get off the Halloween thing, and so it was like following the history of this New England town as it progresses through like the 1800s. It was kind of
So
interesting.
I haven't seen anything about Microscope. So there is the whole thing of it like sort of setting creation, or is there once the setting's created, then what? Or is it?
It's not so much setting creation, like that's what I thought it was going in. It's more of like periods of time and big events that happen in a world that you get to create. And then inside of that, then you also have scenes you can actually play out as a group, which is a big part too, which works kind of like Fiasco, but it's a lot more directed. Like you have a lot more prompts to go off of because everything is based off like leading questions. What are we trying to answer
Okay.
here?
Like, if
So
you
does
know what you
everyone still
want,
have a?
you just make it part of the timeline. But if you want somebody else to define it for you, then you create a scene, and then the other players get to define and answer the question.
So does everyone have a player character? Like, do you have a person to interact with, or it's just?
Because
I
like
mean,
the whole
you
game
can,
could like over
but
this
not really.
span of like thousands of years.
Thousands. Okay, wow.
Yep.
Awesome. That seems really neat. How does one win, or how does one finish the game?
There's not really a win
Yeah, I
because
wasn't
it's
sure.
like it's a story game, so you're just kind of doing a story, and so
How
it
does one,
ends kind of like when kind of there's sort of like a round robin phase thing where everyone has a slightly bigger role, and once you've like gone around the group once, that's kind of the game. so to
Okay.
speak.
Neat. I want to try that at least once.
It's very much a story game in that sense. Like everything is just sort of like and very collaborative in the sense that like once something's introduced, someone else can modify it as much as they want. So
Okay,
It's
awesome.
very interesting.
It seems
Very, very
like-
freeform.
Yeah, and that yes and seems to be the very
Yeah.
unique core of it.
That's the whole core of it.
But
yeah.
there's no dice
Okay.
rolling, so
Kind of want to try that at one
you should
point.
try it out.
Well,
Just,
first of all,
send Eric
Folk
a
Eris's-
message, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Eric seems to be like a really good guy too.
Awesome. He does. Sweet. Anyone else?
Well,
Zen?
Intercon is coming up, and
Oh, yeah.
I was I'm running Dozen Files. There's another Fate game in space, and there's like 4 or 5 like horror themed games, which makes sense, It's beginning of November, right after Halloween.
Where is it?
So I said Aethercon. Just go to aethercon.com. It's not.
No, I mean, in terms of, is it all online, or is there a specific...
yeah, it's online.
Oh, yeah, it's an online convention. Oh, that's super cool.
So yeah, you
No,
just have
that's-
Skype and Roll20 and you go. I think some of them want you to use Google Hangouts instead. But yeah, it's
Okay.
November 13th to 15th. And I've been doing it every year
Awesome.
since it started. It's just, if you do most of your gaming online and you want to try new games or you want to just meet new people, it's the thing to do.
I'm going to have to
Especially
try
if you
that out.
can't make the commitment for a weekly game, one shots or
Yeah.
so.
This is probably the perfect one-shot finding thing.
Mhm.
Especially with...
It always-
like online, when you find one-shots, like sometimes less than half people show up that say they will show up.
Yeah.
And an Aethercon, that's probably less you're probably likely to get more people.
Well, it still
Or,
happens,
if you don't
but
get more people, you're easy to find replacements.
yeah, there's like there's this big chat room that they have, and when you need, if the GM is short on players, she just pops them there, and they say, okay, we need like 3 players for this game. Who wants to play? And then it usually fills up. Like last year, I was like 4 people. I was like, well, I have room for 2 more. I ended up with 4 more people.
Awesome.
So yeah,
So,
it's a really good thing. And they got
It
like
seems like that's could use a little bit more filling with the online communities, because I always thought that cons should have more of an online component, especially now that connectivity is a thing.
yeah. The thing is that Aethercon isn't just about games. Like, they have panelists, they have artists, they have like interviews with game designers. So if you just like, not playing games, but like learning about games, it's also great for that.
awesome.
Hold on, I'm going to cover my bird because I'm sure everybody heard him.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I may be signing up to see if I can browse the games at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the game list.
I saw it last week.
I clicked event sign up at the top of the site. Now, I went to a different page under Warhorn, which appears
Yeah.
to be a sort of organization online website. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Right, but event schedule. That's easy to miss.
Yeah.
Well, you need to be dedicated to find the events. That's
Exactly.
what they're looking
Only
for.
the
It's
best.
the first test.
Do you succeed on your perception test? So, interesting. And these start at November 13th. So, in just over 2 weeks.
Yep, I talked to Steven, the guy that runs the convention, and he said they're taking people to the last day.
To
Nice.
Alaska? Oh, that's awesome.
Like, there's no time limit to sign up to play a game.
Yeah, to sign up to GM, it looks like it's already closed, but to sign up to play...
Right.
Right. Well, I think I saw
very
this,
strange then, because I see a lot of...
and the only things that seemed open were like Pathfinder Society things, which I don't have a huge interest in.
For Aethercon? No, that's not true. Let me take a look.
But I can't seem to find where I saw that list
For what?
before.
Savage Worlds. Yeah, the first real game I found was Savage Worlds that had any openings. So
Well, there's also like they're split up into days. So try
yeah, the split up into
Friday,
days.
Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
There's lots of like talks and interviews as well. There's
Yep.
kind of cool Q&As.
Can I like close all?
Car Wars. The heck is Car Wars?
Car Wars is it Steven Jackson Games Car Wars?
It doesn't say.
Car Wars is a really old tactical war game where you make your cars like Mad Max cars and you duke it out in the middle of the city.
Neat.
Oh, is it? It's a card game? Okay.
No, it's a miniatures game with cars.
Oh.
Okay.
It's cool if someone's actually going to try and run that.
Game. Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's come back to this later because I'm gonna end up. We're gonna talk about that for hours.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of
Oh,
games.
look at this game. Oh, look at this game.
There's Call of
look at this game.
Cthulhu. There's I'm playing a new
that
game.
is-
Like some of the actual writers of games will come and play a game
Mhm.
just to like.
I think some of them are like if someone published a module and the module is being run, it sometimes will be that person
Right.
that's PMing it. And,
I mean, it's
yeah,
on
that's
the
kinda
internet too, so it's like it's a very low threshold
Yeah,
to
it's
sign
just
up,
like you can
and then if you
participate in it
actually
for a few
show
hours and
up,
then go the rest of the day is normal. You don't have to like buy any airplane tickets or go out of your way or take days off work even.
but if you actually show up, like it's not just a few people running this con. The developers are in it too, so they're giving away like free PDFs and free modules to thank people for actually coming and playing games that they signed up for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For any of you watching who would be interested in playing a Burning Wheel, by the way, if you head over to Adam's subreddit r/SkinnyGhost, Daverix Arith, by the way, is how you pronounce it, I think, is putting together his own game, possibly 2 games, according to the comments.
Yeah.
So just comment in the Burning Wheel Beginners Campaign thread to...
It looks like it would be a European time friendly.
Yeah, it would be. 5 to 9 p.m. GMT on Wednesdays and Fridays is what he's thinking. For 2 different groups running the same world, it is what he's thinking as of late. So, yeah, go check that out if you want to play instead of just watch. Want to just get right into bits then? Or...
Yeah, I keep seeing a lot of things about Burning Wheel on the RPG subreddit as well. So.
Yeah, it's seems to be gaining some more traction.
Yep.
It is. I think as probably due to the initial like Roll20 stream, so people could see what it's like, and then other people are trying it out, and it's just getting up there. I was going to say something. We'll talk about it later. I don't remember what it was, but it's not important. Do you want to just get into bits then?
Let me do a recap real quick of what happened last time, then we'll jump into bits and do a little cutscene.
Last time on Burning Wheel.
Yes. Yeah, so, let's see here. I have this all written out somewhere. There it is. So yeah, last time on Burning Wheel, our intrepid adventurers left the island of Termanugnia. As the ship departed, Edwin locked eyes with a nefarious stranger on the docks, leaving Edwin wondering, who was this dark and enigmatic man, and where did he get Edwin's lost shoes? Our wayward heroes then braved the storms on the high seas while traveling to Dovan Islet, where they were joined by a new companion, noted privateer Matrim Season. Matrim then led the party to a meeting with a mysterious organization. After some discussion, Edwin agreed to lead the research on the recently recovered body of Keelden. In exchange, the organization promised to quell the fallout between the nations of Pathaskew and Bryansk. Our prolific protagonists then boarded an organization ship and were led into its belly, only to find a mobile research laboratory. Edwin immediately set to work decoding the secrets of the artifact with the smartest minds. Talking in a 1950s fast voice, yeah, not easy.
No,
Props to 1950s fast voice talkers for a living.
that's why it was a profession, man.
Yep.
Take 2. Edwin immediately set to work decoding the secrets of the artifact with the smartest minds the organization had to offer. Meanwhile, Ernest and Matrim were offered a position with the strike force preparing to take back Edwin's ancestral home. They both readily accepted and began to plan the assault. Will Edwayne uncover the mysteries of the recently recovered artifact? Will Ernest and Matrim manage to work together and beat back the dastardly forces of the Duchess of Bryansk? What is this organization planning? All these questions and more might be answered in the coming session of Burning Wheel, Chronicles of the Archipelago.
The Chronicles.
That's the first time I've heard that name. I really like that.
It's a good one.
Awesome. Same Burning Wheel time, same Burning Wheel channel.
Everything's on fire, oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Hopefully I can refine that voice a little bit more, and that I hope to be doing something like that at the beginning of each session.
Oh man, it's the hype voice.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think let's get right back into bits.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Show me your bits, gentlemen.
Okay.
Should I go first? I can go first.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so my first actual thing is not a belief or instinct or trait. It is about my accent. I've not been doing it right. I need to revert back to how I was doing it initially, which was that Ernest talks more slowly. His accent is a lot like Forrest Gump, and it was probably a subconscious decision of me to have his name very similar to Forrest Gump, actually. Ernest, Buck, and Forrest Gump have very similar sounds. My beliefs are one of them are the same as last. Actually, two of them, because one's loyalty. Anyways, you can't truly know someone until you fought with them or against them. Matrim is a hard man to read, and I want to know him better. I have fully recovered from my affliction, and I will prove it to myself by successfully leading these soldiers to victory against Bryansk. The Duchess of Bryansk may be the enemy, but she is still just a child. I will make sure that she is not killed or unduly harmed. I am the assistant and guardian to Lord W, aka Lord Edwayne Whalefson. Doing what he says is most important, and protecting him is second most. I don't plan to mix these two up as long as his coin keeps flowing. I considered changing my instincts, but decided against it at the end. So they are, the same as usual, always use violence or the threat of it to get what I want, always maintain my arms and armor, and whenever I have free time, practice fighting with my mace. My traits, I have many traits. My character traits are loyal to Edwayne Whalefson. My cultural traits are both imperious and close-minded, but I also have vindictive and stoic as just voted upon character traits. My die traits are light sleeper, so it's easy for me to get woken up, stubborn, broken, and sickly. My call-on trait is back-breaking labor. And that is it. I am the fighter of the group, I guess. The heavily armored fighter as opposed to Matron's fighting.
You're the tank.
Yeah, I have carefully maintained armor and shield.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So I am Matrim Seasum, and most of my beliefs changed from last session, or they morphed, I guess. So my first belief is these mobile organization hubs speak highly of the money involved. If I successfully help this mission in Bryansk, I can work my way closer to the source. The second one is the Continental Ernest amuses me to no end. I must continue to infuriate him and watch him fail.
Nice.
And then my last one is being in the group, back on my longboat, reminds me of my last crew and the good days. I will ensure it doesn't meet the same end by helping my crew when in a tough spot. And there was some vagueness about how Persona would be gathered from that, but I think we kind of worked it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm curious myself about what was the end that your previous crew was fated to.
That's still sort of vague, but I think it's something like kind of similar to what happened with your mission that screwed everything
They
up.
all
right?
basically died. To just
They all
myself or
died or
someone's
became
mistake.
maimed really really badly by some mistake.
Okay,
I smell a flashback in our future.
Some mission went horribly wrong.
let's all do an inspiration flashback soon.
Right. I think what's interesting is that I think Matrim and Ernest have very similar backgrounds, just with different cultural takes on it.
They mirror each other in many ways.
Yeah. So, I guess one of the reasons because it's a very easy background to make.
Yep.
But anyway, I have the same instincts. Never engage in a fair fight. If my crew or boat is in danger, drop everything and help. Oh, I guess I modified that one from what it was before. And then the last one is, the sea is life. When someone insults the sea, I insult them. I have a number of traits. My character traits are problem with authority, predatory, and then I have 3 culture traits, smells of the sea, calloused, and wanderlust. I have a die trait, affinity for rope, and then I have the following call-on traits, sea legs, iron stomach, and dexterity of the cat. And that is Matron's Bits.
All right. So I have some beliefs. Let's see here. The conspiracy is a group of brigands and thieves. They must be rooted out of the islands. So I must investigate them so I can determine if their intent is honorable. Specifically, I want to find out what the fate of my cousin is, who they have claimed is somehow embezzling the money of my country. And I find out, it feels like they're trying to set Edwin up as a puppet, like a puppet state. And I gotta find out if that's true or not. So the second one is, the Cold War should start between Halfwind and Lesgorod. So I should convince the organization to make it appear that both our countries have artifacts. And so far we haven't heard about the Cold War in-game, but out-of-game the idea is that there's going to be a Cold War set up between the various islands, and we're going to be fighting proxy battles for the organization or for the empire or for the continent. So I want to get that started as soon as we can, because I think it'd be cool to explore. And my third belief, if Maud were here, she would have my back, but she's not. So I must gather what allies I have. So right now, Edwin is kind of like, he's on a boat in the middle of nowhere, where nobody can get to him. I think he feels kind of isolated out there. I have instincts, okay, behave in a sane, rational manner, because people have been saying he's crazy, but he's not. When I find a good man, find a use for him. So hopefully Edwin will find some people within the organization who are actually good, even if we don't get to see it on screen.
I've always been a little intrigued by that as an instinct. Like, how do you see that working or coming into play as an instinct?
I see it in two ways.
See a good man, put him to use.
Like, either when Edwin finds a person who he thinks has a good heart or a noble spirit, he'll try and find that person, basically a position within his government or within his expedition or whatever organization he's working with. Yeah, it tries to make them around, tries to make sure that they're in a position of authority, and that hopefully, being a good person, they can make a difference in the world.
So, I guess my follow-up question to that is, why isn't that then a belief instead of an instinct?
I don't think there's anything I can actively do to find a good man. I think that's something entirely reactive.
Actually, I think that you bring up a good point, Sith, in sort of a tangential way, in that I don't... Normally instincts are sort of unspoken things. but I feel that will always when you see a good man put into use will always be sort of a thing that is spoken. It'll never be you'll never. I don't think it makes sense for you to assume like that you put captured prisoners to work. I think it'll always be something that you need to specifically say simply due to the context around it.
Yeah, it's not exactly a macroable action.
I'll see why not.
Well, there's a lot of like risk. Like it could be if you have that instinct.
If it actually gets me into trouble, then I have to say so, right? I kind of hope it does get me into trouble. If I actually get to act on it,
I have no idea how that
it gets me into trouble.
Well, if it's up to him, he could just say that he made a mistake when doing that, and now there's like because
somebody is a good man doesn't mean they're not going to make mistakes. It doesn't mean that they can't have other loyalties.
Right, but I guess going on the tangent thing, Primarch was saying though is like in my mind, instincts are like immediate things. Like I have one involving other people, but the reaction and the instinct is to drop everything I'm doing. And that's the instinct. And then after that, I could play out what happens. But it sounds like you're sort of combining the afterplay into the instinct, right?
I don't
like.
Think so. No.
Well, my question to you, Golden, is: do you feel that you will end up just sort of hand waving away what to do with prisoners, or just people that are around you, or do you think you will always talk about that in character?
What if instead of what you have something like, when I see a good person, I'll always give them my contact information. Something like that.
That doesn't.
Or you'll always find a way to contact him, and so you can just keep adding people to your circles.
Right.
Or maybe you'll like get an extra die because you know how you could contact him a while back, and yeah.
I guess the GM that? Can I add them to my circles automatically? What? That seems really overpowered.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make it more of a gut reaction thing. Like,
yeah,
I know. So far, like it's been a gut reaction thing. Like, oh, this guy, I need to find out if he's a good person, and that's what the play is about. Like once I find out,
like a gut reaction.
If he's no. Once I find out if he's a good person, then the gut reaction takes place, and we don't need to play that out.
So maybe the instinct, the instinct inside of this is always. I don't want to say judge the character, but feel out the character of people I meet. Like, find out if they're good people.
Ah, okay. Here's I think going off of what Sen just said, here's another alternative. Always take the time to judge new people I meet. Or always take the time to feel someone out.
Well, the thing is
that before, but it feels too much like he's being suspicious of people and trying to make sure they live up to his standards, and that's not really what's going on.
No, it's not necessarily suspicion, it's just, is this person worth my time to talk to?
I mean, isn't
right,
everybody trying to figure it out
take
all
the time to figure that out.
It's a matter of which aspects of this sort of putting people to use that you do and which aspects you don't want to put at risk or have in the spotlight. Because instincts are stuff that you control whether or not they're in the spotlight, and they tend to not be in the spotlight more often than they are.
Well, like, take Nico's I always draw a bow one, right? Like,
yeah.
There's always going to be a choice in game if he draws the bow or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But it's your choice.
Right, and here,
what I'm saying...
my choice is always going to be, now I found this good man, do I actually put him to work?
Yep, exactly. So
it's the same kind of thing.
You can see how the suggestions.
It's just a social. It's a social action instead of a combat action. Like it's slightly longer pace.
Yeah, I think that's where my issue is.
But it's still like, just as instinctual.
So maybe always evaluate the use of new people.
Well, hold on.
Right,
the question is, which part is a given? There's a part given that you will find that you will always see if you can find a use for them, or the part is that once you found out, you will always put a use for them?
And we'll always put a use for them.
Once you know. Okay, so that should be the instinct.
That's
Something
what the
about
instinct
once
is.
you found out.
When I find a good man, find use for him. That's exactly what it is.
It might be simpler just to change it to always find a use for good men.
Does that actually change it substantially?
No, but I think
it makes it a more focused thing.
Okay.
It doesn't significantly change
less ambiguity.
Yeah. And I think that's what you're going for.
All right.
That is less ambiguous to me.
So, yeah, I get what you mean, and I think that would be more easy for us to understand.
Yeah, because once the fun part is role playing with the character and finding out what their motivations are. Then we'd have to worry about what is the bureaucratic system, Edwin, what kind of jobs does this guy have available, what's actually needed. All those things aren't particularly interesting. Whether or not he uses the position that he gains to cause trouble is interesting.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
All right. If others followed that, okay.
That
made me more confused. I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, it's up to Golden if that does cause trouble because it's his instinct. But yeah, that is still interesting.
I would like it to cause trouble.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can just say it causes trouble. Yeah.
I'm going to change my third instinct. It was asked the story behind any ancient item I see, and we'll come back later. Right now, it's going to be get information from home or about home. Whatever information is available, Edwin's going to seek it out.
You'll always be asking. You'll always be soaking up information and reading and getting letters from what's going on. Okay.
If there's an opportunity to get information, he's going to take it.
So we can, for the most part, probably assume that you know everything that we know, unless,
Right. That way, I don't have to stop whenever I have the opportunity and try and get your characters to tell me what happened. It just happens.
When we return, theoretically,
unless it's an interesting scene to play out, it just happens.
Cool. All right. I like that a lot.
So you're always informed of the happenings in your homeland. Okay.
Right. At least to the extent that the organization doesn't hide them from me,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure they would probably it's your kingdom and they're not having you be in it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know what the motives of the organization are, or if they're good people or not yet. So we have to find out.
True.
Are they actually hiding
segue
stuff from me?
for the cutscene.
Okay.
All right. So we fade in from the credits or what have you into a dark room, undisclosed location. We see several ornate leather chairs around a wooden table on which is a map of the archipelago. A single candle is sitting in the center of the map, and it's providing this circle of light that doesn't quite reach out to the chairs, so the flickering flame kind of causes shadows to be on the people that are sitting in the chairs. And a handful of figures obscured by shadow are sitting there talking amongst themselves. 1 second. So yeah, we start hearing these people talking, and from one of them you start hearing, Jawar reports the sun is with us. He has the thing we have sought. And the cost? A pittance. We need only throw money at the situation. The sellswords that we hired will take back his lands and make him look like a hero. His father will unknowingly be in our debt. From the other side of the table. Excellent. After we quell the petulant child, our operatives can approach the city and help with the transition. Path Askew will rule the island, and we will have a new ally. And what of the artifact? A woman's voice responds this time. The son is working with our people on that now, while his friends help with the assault. My people reports that he will be useful. He has already provided them with more information than they could theorize on their own. All seems to be progressing well. With any luck, this boy and his friends will be useful to us. Either way, we will know soon. Another figure sitting at the head of the table leans forward slightly, his hands coming into the circle of light. As he steeples his fingers, we can see a golden signet ring inscribed with a 5-spoked wheel encircled in flames. The wheel turns once more, my friend, and with our guidance, it will crush and burn the continent beneath it. And ominous music and fade to black.
Shit.
And then we come back up. You guys are still on the ship, ready to depart with Matrim and Ernest are ready to depart with the strike force. There's 3 ships that are now with you guys. They're all loaded with a couple battalions of heavy foot, some archers, and some cavalry. Pardon me. Edwin is also there, ostensibly doing research. I don't know, he could be with you guys. That's up to you.
Well, I think one of the first scenes that we would have would probably be sort of a one-on-one chat between Ernest and Edwin, with him, like, for the most part, just checking if Edwin is okay with Ernest leaving for an undisclosed period of time, or like an unknown amount of time. Does that work?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that it's probably like the night before this. We see like just sort of we see like everyone's ready to go. Ernest is just sort of like sitting and staring off like into the sunset as you do, or sunrise actually, as you do. And then we just flash back to like the night before, and you can see like the moon in the sky transitions over. And then there's like a knock on a door. You see the metal gauntlets of Ernest wearing his armor already. Bangs against the door that leads toward Edwin's room.
Alright. You probably hear some, like, short talking behind the door, and then it opens up, and Edwin has been talking to, like, one of the other researchers on the boat, and, they agree to, like, some interesting bit of research to do in the morning, and then he leaves, and Edwin lets Ernest into the room. And then he locks the door behind him.
Okay. Is that locking is normal, right? I assume?
No, it's not.
Okay. So I just take a look at the lock for a second and... Sir? I just wanted to check if everything was gonna be okay while I'm gone.
I think it will be, Ernest. I think I need these people to trust me. Trying to gain their confidence.
Do you have a weapon on you, sir?
He just points at the weapon of mass destruction laying on the bench behind him. Yeah, I have a perfectly good weapon. And it makes a pretty good bludgeoning staff, too, if I have to use it like that. I'll be okay, Ernest.
I think I walk over to like one of the corners of the room. I probably like, is this like your laboratory and like workspace, or is it also like your bedroom?
I think it's like this little tiny cabin that like he just has because
Like
he's a lord. Like he probably is entitled to having a small cabin of his own.
Okay. Then I think I like draw like one of the spare swords that I've carried around. Like I've had a spare sword that I've been wanting to and never learned to use. And I just like place it on the bed and say, "These are more reliable than And I just like gesture silently towards the artifact.
Have you ever fought with someone with a quarterstaff, Ernest?
No, sir, I can't say I have, but I don't imagine it would be very effective against people in armor.
You'd be surprised. The continent has a lot to learn about fighting. It sounds
Yes, sir.
like Edwin like picks up the sword and he tries to use it, but his posture and his footwork are all wrong. Like
I wouldn't be able to know because I've only fought with a mace.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Like
So
even
Looking fine, sir.
if Edwin was
exactly.
using it.
Well, I can probably tell it's a bit off, but I can't. You probably mimic what I do with a mace in terms of my stance.
Yeah, I've probably
that's actually
seen
not at all what you
Ernest.
wanted to do.
I've probably seen
So I
Ernest
think it's
fight.
perfectly good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel
So
better,
I don't know when I'll be back, sir.
I understand. Listen, Ernest, I need you to keep an eye out
For
my
what?
family. If you have a chance to, listen to what the organization is telling my family, I'd just like to confirm everything they tell me. And if
All right.
if you see my cousin, hold on a sec.
Yeah.
If you see my cousin Valerie, make sure no harm comes to him.
Have I met him before?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
He's the
So-
guy that runs the country when I'm not around. He's basically he's basically an indentured servant, but you know how usually when lords were sent to other countries, they kind of became a little bit of a prisoner.
Mhm.
Because they just didn't have the money, they weren't
Prisoner
set with
of
enough
duty.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they become kind of stuck in the culture where they were sent to. Kind of like if you're familiar with the story of Marco Polo.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
So
Valerie is
hostage?
my cousin. Yeah, he's a hostage.
Okay.
But he's also my cousin, and I trust him implicitly. So the story that the organization has told him about Valerie isn't stacking up. Just watch out for Valerie, make sure they don't execute him or throw him into a prison cell or something. I need to know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I will.
Other than that, I have complete faith in your abilities and your character. So do whatever you think is right.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot. Now I best be going. Time to go meet my new troops.
Good luck.
And good night, sir.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
Ernest.
I step out and my metal footsteps fade into the night.
Okay.
All right.
Anybody have anything else they want to? Any other scenes?
Oh, not right now. Edwin's probably has this washcloth, and he wipes his brow. And, there's probably not a mirror in here, but you can see he looks a little bit sick, and that's about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think this needs to be a specific scene, but I think after being cooped up on that small island for so long, and now being on this large boat, Matcham is probably spending his spare time up in the rafts, just sort of watching the horizon and the sun,
Enjoying the wind.
enjoying it,
Nice.
being back in the sea in the open air.
Cool. Yeah, from your vantage point, you can see the other three ships.
Okay.
They're teeming with people. I mean, there's all kinds of men on the upper decks. A lot of them seem to be wearing chainmail, practicing with their swords and whatnot.
Could I make a sailor-wise type check to? I want to see if I could get like the vibe of the crew there, because you're saying like there's a lot of men teaming. They're like, how is this normal things for a ship this size, or is it like, you know, everyone on the ship isn't even a sailor, they're just being transported, you know?
Oh yeah, you can make it. You can roll that out if you want. Sure.
Okay.
It's probably for you, probably an ob of, I would guess 2. Because you're just looking. You're basically looking to see if they're doing the normal things that sailors should do, right?
Yeah. Give me a sec. I might actually help. Can I help with
Skype?
soldier-wise?
Oh,
Zen.
Chrome crashed for him. For
Skype
Sith.
is coming back.
Oh. Entirely crashed. Wow. Zen, could I help Sith with soldier-wise?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking if I even want to. I need one more test to up soldier-wise. And I need to make sure it's a difficult test.
Oh, a difficult test? Yeah,
Well,
that's
difficult test. I only have exponent 2. Which means, because for me, and it was ob 2, I'm checking if that would be difficult. Skill exponent is 2. Okay, I see what it is. An ob 2 test is actually challenging.
Wow.
So I will refrain from helping because I don't like matron. I will make my own test later. I'll make my own ob 1 test about the soldiers themselves to see their experience. Do we want to actually, since we're waiting on... Never mind.
There you are. I think you're muted, by the way.
You come unmuted, so...
Thank you.
There we go.
Yep.
So after thinking about it and looking at the numbers, I will not help you because I don't like you. Ernest does not like matron.
Wow.
So,
But yeah, you can roll that up
Okay.
when you're back in and ready.
Yeah, right when I tried to go to the character, I popped out. Everything just crashed.
the first tech issue of the day. At least it was comparatively minor.
Yeah.
Don't say things like that. That's like saying something's a 5-minute job. Next thing you know, you're spending all day trying to fix a fucking picture frame.
Oh boy.
I have food upstairs waiting for me, so. Yep, that's good. So, yeah, let me know if Seth. Do you think it'll be? How long do you think till you're ready to go? I might make my test first in that case.
Oh, what test are you doing?
I want to observe the soldiers, and like using my soldier wise to see what kind of experience they have had in battle.
So I was gonna do a sailor wise.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And I was wondering if I could fork in seamanship.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the ob is or if it's like a graduated ob.
They do it graduated.
Okay. So base op 1?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you can tell that most of the people that are wandering around the ship aren't sailors at all.
Okay.
More than likely, they're mercenaries.
Okay.
They do have an emblem on their surcoats. It's a flaming bird of some kind, probably a phoenix.
Okay.
And yeah, I as I said, I will survey these soldiers and look them over and see how they're acting and see how, like, try and assess their combat experience using my soldier-wise skill. What is the op for that?
Probably just graduated again. Better you do, the more you're gonna pull out of it.
Okay.
They're fucking soldiers.
Okay. But
you in your estimation, they look seasoned. A couple of them are actually maimed. Some of them have like big nasty scars. Look like they've seen a few battles.
So the good news. Oh, I was looking that wrong. Give me a sec. Okay, never mind. So I can't really tell anymore. All right. Then that's all I do for now, I think. I don't think I talked to them yet. I sort of just, I'm standing there, sort of, it takes a lot of time for me to get that, so I think that I sort of I'm watching in my armor and fully ready for battle.
All right, so yeah, you two receive word that you're ready to disembark and get underway. You're going to have to leave this ship to go over there. If you have anything you need to do before you need to leave here, the time is now.
I just am checking something. Okay, that's what it is.
I don't think Matcham had anything pressing.
Yeah, before you guys leave,
Oh.
one of the guys you were talking with in the war room, some nameless battle analyst, comes up and hands you a parchment with a seal on it and says, when you get where you're going, find Field Marshal Wiggins. He'll sort you out. He's going to be in charge of the army proper, and you're going to be consulting with him.
All right.
Is that Wiggins?
Yes, Field Marshal Wiggins.
It turns out, I was looking through the rules, my soldier-wise actually has been 3 dice for a while, because I thought I needed all of the tests, but looking at the rules, I needed either two difficult,
Yep.
Either one difficult or one challenging. I had a challenging, I didn't have a difficult. I tried to get both.
Okay.
I'll roll one more d6, see if I can get any more information to add to my thing. I get 2 successes instead of 1.
Okay. Then, yeah, you know the mercenary company. They are the Swords of the Phoenix. They're during the wars that have come previous to this, they've served rather valiantly on whichever side was willing to pay them more. Sometimes switching during the battle, when someone's check cleared.
All right, awesome.
But they do have a decent reputation as good fighters. So.
Okay, good. In that case, I still do the same thing. I'm still watching. I think once we're all ready, Ernest sort of walks up to whoever looks in charge, says, "So, the burning phoenixes, is that right?"
Swords of the Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Get it right.
So I say, yeah.
How dare you impugn my honor, sir? Demand a duel.
He'll lose. But I say, Swords of the Phoenix, huh? I've heard about you. You're pretty good.
Best mercenaries this side of the continent.
Well, then I'll very much look forward to you proving it soon.
He just sort of nods at you like,
my name is Ernest, and I reach out my gauntlet towards him to shake. And I will be commanding you, I believe.
Yeah, he kind of looks you up and down a little bit. He's like, I ain't taking orders from no Continental. Fought against you in the last war. You guys are right pricks.
See, I thought we had a bit of mercenaries honor there. I heard that y'all were more than once loyal to the coin.
We work for who pays you.
I think you'd be working for someone who says to follow me then. I think. And I look
That's-
around to one of the organization people and then I'm just thinking, please don't let these actually be matron soldiers.
No, it's more that this guy has something against Continentals rather than all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get the sense that he's not a fan.
Okay, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a company-wide thing. It's just
It's just this guy.
Continentals killed his brother or something.
And then turning back and say, listen, I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. I'm no fan of the continent myself. Why do you think that I'm working here? It has its ups and it has its downs like any other place.
That's true. I mean, never can tell with these battles.
War brings out the worst in people.
But as long as we walk away with our heads still on our shoulders and our pockets full of coins, I guess it really doesn't matter who's calling the shots.
I would call that a victory. Now, we best be going. And yeah, I just start helping them get ready in whatever way they need. Oh,
okay.
There's my lighting.
So yeah, before they depart, someone knocks on your door, Edwin.
Okay, Edwin just opens the door.
There's a short guy there, rather skinny. His hands are stained with ink. He's just wearing a robe of some kind, and he's holding a piece of paper in his hands, and he says, they asked me to see if you could put your signature and your seal on this, and he hands you the paper.
Sure, come in. And Edwin will take it over to his table and sit down and read it.
Yeah, it's basically just a letter of introduction saying that Field Marshal Wiggins and Ernest and Matrim are there on your behest with a shitload of dudes with the swords and stuff.
All right.
Just so that way they can introduce themselves to your father and not be met with resistance.
Sure, yeah. Oh, that sounds perfectly reasonable. So Edwin will sign that. I guess there's no roll required to make sure that he understands it properly, right?
Make a writing test.
I mean, if you want to really examine it and make sure it's all good, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out is it going to be sneakily something hidden if I don't ask for this roll? Because before you were saying, okay, then I do want to roll.
Yeah, I think the only way to determine that is if you actually roll. Because if I say no or yes, then you don't need to make the roll.
Right. I'm just asking because you said before we had to call for rolls when we wanted them.
Yeah.
But it's not clear if I want it. Sure, can I fork in my rhetoric to see if there's anything hidden in there?
Yeah, see if logic follows, sure.
Yeah. Make sure there's not this blank spot where they can just write in a whole bunch more stuff.
Right. See, for reading a letter should be fairly easy. I just want to make sure I got the right.
And,
read. Oh, a letter is too. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. You read through it. It seems
seems legit.
It seems genuine, yeah.
All right.
Doesn't seem to be anything hidden.
Symbol goes on it. Get the wax, roll my signet ring in it a little bit, hand it to the guy with a smile.
He thanks you, and make sure if you need anything, just let him know. He'll bring it back.
Edwin probably won't be in his room the whole day. I assume it's still pretty early. After a certain point, he'll actually start to research the artifact with all the facilities available. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, that was good then.
Okay, so yeah, he pounces off. Eventually, Ernest, you receive that letter.
All right. Yeah,
And they tell
I
you
keep it on me.
All right, so yeah,
I don't know what it says, but I probably am told what it says.
yeah, you just present this to Lord Waleson when you get to Polyawarat.
Yes, sir. I will do just that.
Okay. So yeah, you guys get in a dinghy, board the other ship, and the three ships diverge course from the research vessel, and you guys start trekking toward Tirmanugnia.
This would be a good time
And-
for a break, if you like.
Yep.
Yep. Let's take our first break.
All right. We'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody. We've had some people talking in the chat, so that's always great. And, yeah, we'll be back.